Hello, folks. Osak here, coming to you on November the 16th, 2024, from San Antonio. And I just wanted to share a cool new revolver that, well, it's not new, it's new to me, but a revolver from actually 1963 production. And it is the Colt Official Police. And this is one of the most popular police revolvers at the time. Actually, I think it was just really this and Smith & Wesson's Model 10 at that point in time that were the two revolvers that were being selected for the most part by almost all the standard police agencies. And this one that I have here, actually, I believe probably was a law enforcement owned revolver, just based on some wear patterns on it. But not necessarily any proof of that. It's just it has a look to it like it probably was. So let me show you what this looks like. And of course, this is empty, just to show clear. And so what we have here is Colt's answer to, at first, military use, and then basically after that, after the war, they actually, I think prior to the war, right prior to the war, World War II I'm talking about, they changed the name to Colt Official Police. So this actually, it's a 6-shot revolver, as you can see here. The cylinders revolve in the opposite way that the Smith & Wessons do. So these go clockwise, versus the Smith & Wesson, which goes counterclockwise. And of course it has a swing out cylinder, okay, and the ejector. And this particular model has a 4-inch barrel. They made them in 4, 5, and 6-inch lengths. And you'll notice that there is no lug or anything here to protect us. The ejector rod is just kind of free floating there. Okay, so old school design. Came with, these are the original grips, so these are walnut grips. They also had for a time what they called Colt wood during the war, which were actually plastic, but the same configuration, and they just had the medallions molded into the plastic instead of inlaid like these are. Now, here's one of the things that makes me think that it was law enforcement. Besides the other wear patterns on it, the back strap is all worn down. All the bluing is off of here. And as you look at a lot of the pictures of law enforcement at the time, they often would be seen with their hands just resting on their pistols, right? And of course, every time they would get out of their patrol car, maybe making a traffic stop or whatever, they would come up with their hand oftentimes resting on their revolver. And so if you do that long enough, it's going to cause this kind of a wear pattern, obviously. Also, just the holster wear on the muzzle, as you can see here. And of course, it has the markings, as you can see. It has, let's see if I can get it to show up here. Oops, wrong side. It does have the Rampant Colt marking on the back. You can see him dancing right there, dancing. And it's marked on this side with the caliber designation. Okay, and so, and again, the serial number on this basically puts it right around 1963, which is late in the production actually for these. So, what else was I going to say? Okay, so just a little bit of quick history. These were, Colt had the 1892 Army 38. That was the long Colt, 38 long Colt. That's the one that was kind of really denigrated during the Spanish-American War for lack of performance against the Moros, and what caused them to jump to 45 caliber based on that experience. But it was a good pistol, and in 1908. Colt came out with this upgrade, if you will. It's basically the Colt Army Special is what they called it. But it was chambered in 38 Special, which was a new higher power cartridge at that time. And then in 1927, they changed it to the Colt Police Official Police, I should say. Now, also concurrent with this, there was the Colt Police Positive, which was a smaller frame, and at first was only chambered in 32 and 38 Colt, I believe, so the shorter. And then later on, they beefed it up a little bit and lengthened the cylinder, and then chambered it in 38 Special. That was also used a lot by the police forces, especially like Metro police forces. Okay, this one really is a sweet shooting gun. I've had it to the range. They're very strong. Matter of fact, when back in the day when Smith & Wesson was touting their 3844 revolvers, which could handle the high pressure 3844 loads that they came out with, which were actually very high pressure and needed a stronger frame. Colt was able to successfully advertise against that with this, because this is actually a 41 caliber frame, so it's heavier duty and also cylinder, and so it has more meat on it, and it was able to handle those same loads but with a smaller, more svelte revolver, because the 44 38 that Smith & Wesson had was quite a big revolver. It's like the size of a new service. So that was an N frame, basically. Whereas this is more of I guess you could say an L frame, a little bit bigger than a K frame. And so, anyway, great gun. Of course, it shoots 38 Special. People probably know what that looks like, but there you go. These are some hand loads I have made up. These have nickel brass, and I've got them loaded with lead semi-wad cutter bullets. Okay, and you can get anywhere from 600-ish on up to 1,000 feet per second from a revolver like this with standard pressure loads, if you use the right powder charge. These that I have here are running around 9 to 950. I haven't chronographed it, so I don't know. But they shoot right to point of aim with this, which is great. At least at 15 yards they do, 10 and 15 yards. And it was pretty easy to make groups about yay big with it. I did have a picture of my range target, but maybe I can find that and put it up on the put it up in here. So if I find it, it'll be here. But anyway, the trigger is great on these. It's a double action and single action. And that single action is like boom. It's very light and very crisp. And so the triggers are serrated on here. And, so it's not really my favorite. I prefer a smooth trigger, but it's not that big a deal. And, we're talking 38 Special. It's not that much recoil. A lot of fun to shoot. And so anyway, also I want to show you this. I was able to find a nice holster, period holster, if you will. This is a George Lawrence company out of Portland, Oregon, number 526. Let you see that right there, the stamping. And so this is the Challenger model, I guess they called it. But it's this probably looks very familiar to you. It's very common type of a design that they had at that time, with that strap going around there securing the back loop, and then the snap to secure the revolver in the holster. And of course it fits in here perfectly because it was made for this model. Whoops. There we go. So that just comes around like that, snaps, and be careful. So you would bring your hand up, take that snap off, and then draw the revolver. Not as fast as our modern day revolvers, but that was a retention strap and kept the revolver from falling out if you got on the ground or whatever, or just had to jump over a fence or whatever the case may be in your law enforcement work. Okay, of course the sights, as you can see, are the traditional gutter and front blade sight. Let's see if I can get it lined up. Everything is at opposite, so you can see that. And quite good. It gives you a very good sight picture, actually, and that's easy to point shoot. And don't know what else to say about it, but really a cool piece of history. And something if you shop around, I keep saying this, folks, on the auction sites, you can find these for a very reasonable price. I got this for under $400. I think it was $379 before it was shipped and everything. So not bad. That's less expensive than, I mean, a new Colt is going to be $800, right? Maybe $700 if you find it on sale. Like I think that's what I paid for my Colt King Cobra that I have a video at. And of course, that's a 357. But anyway, these old guns can be a good value, and really a lot of just the history behind them, and they're just so fun to shoot. And 38 Special is still a very current and available cartridge, of course. And if you hand load, it's really super easy to hand load for, and it's very economical to shoot with lead bullets. And these things love lead bullets. So that's about it, folks. I appreciate it. And as always, if you like the video, you want to get notified, please like and subscribe. And that helps the algorithm, as they say. And anyway, I appreciate you all, and we'll see you on the next video.